Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on this Victory Monday. I'm Mimi Jung.
And I'm Christine Pei. Here's what we're tracking for you right now at 6.
And that will do it. Seattle reigns above them all in the NFL.
For the first time in 12 years, the Seahawks are waking up Super Bowl champions. The team is now headed back to Seattle with the Lombardi Trophy in hand.
We are so freaking pumped.
Like the reward of being on this team and be champions, that's what fires you up.
And 12s around the world are riding high on the victory. The celebrations for the Super Bowl win that took over the streets of Seattle.
And now plans are in place for what may be the biggest citywide celebration ever. We've got all the details for Wednesday's victory parade as the Seattle Seahawks return home as champions.
Also, the Winter Olympics are well underway in Milan Cortina, with Team USA picking up its first gold from the games over the weekend.
And we've got Jake Wittenberg and Chris Egan near the Olympic Cauldron in Milan this morning after spending the overnight hours watching the game with Seahawks fans. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Mimi. Yeah, it was quite the night, my friend. Did not expect a midnight kickoff in my Super Bowl future.
An amazing night. Jake,
Yeah.
I go back to Seahawks training camp. I called Ken Walker the quad god. He looked at me and said, thank you, but there's only one quad god. He delivers here in Italy.
Yeah.
And the second quad delivers there. Ken Walker, your MVP.
The quad god. You know, we're going to have a little parade of our own here outside the Peace Arch. This might look good up there on the Peace Arch near that cauldron, Chris.
I'm going to hike. I'm going to head up there.
All right, get on that. We're going to show you where we celebrated last night in Milan in just a couple of moments.
Great to be with Seahawks fans all around the world, bringing you coverage from Italy this morning.
What an amazing win last night. And the fireworks out of the needle, too. I turned and I was like, hey, they're coming out of the needle after every point.
And not just the needle, but all around neighborhoods.
It's
impressive.
Yes, a lot of partying last night.
Well, we're going to talk more about the celebrations ahead as we continue to celebrate the Seahawks' victory in the Super Bowl. But first, let's get a look at the traffic this morning.
Well, you know, I was thinking because of the Super Bowl, we would probably see a lot less cars heading out this morning. But I guess with Revive I-5, you really can't expect that. So this is a lookout on I-5 southbound near Northgate. You do have that slowdown already starting, and it continues on into Seattle. But it doesn't look like it's as bad as what we typically see. So I'll give you a look at those drive times and your ferry alerts in just a few moments.
And we have a little weak front that's pushing through this morning, and you can emphasis on the weak part. You can see the southern portion that's kind of moved slowly through the sound, and then another piece up there towards Bellingham is kind of sliding in there right now. Overall, our forecast is for some occasional light rain this morning, and then this afternoon, just a couple showers around mixed in with some breaks. High temperatures close to normal today, upper 40s and low 50s. We do have a dry spell around midweek, just in time for that parade. We'll talk about that and chance of a little bit of rain here and snow in the mountains as we head towards the weekend.
I want to party. I want to celebrate with my guys. You know, I want to cry. I have so many emotions, you know, running through me right now, and they're all amazing.
A sentiment shared by the 12s everywhere. Fans erupting into celebration after the Seahawks captured their second Super Bowl title in franchise history. It was a chance to avenge that heartbreaking loss to the New England Patriots back in 2015.
But this time, the Hawks defense controlled most of the game and ensured a Super Bowl victory. The dark side lived up to expectations, keeping opposing quarterback Drake May on his heels and on his back. The Seahawks defense had 6 sacks in the game and kept the Patriots scoreless until the fourth quarter, which put the team very close to a Super Bowl record.
I think we did a tremendous job today. We were honestly mad that they scored it all. We were trying to get a shutout in the Super Bowl, make history, and put a stamp on that dark side defense that we've had this year.
There was one record set by the Seahawks. Jason Myers recorded 5 field goals, setting a Super Bowl record.
We've got team coverage of the Seahawks Super Bowl win. Savannah Welch is following the celebration that is still going strong this morning. Farah Drajan is breaking down what you need to know about the citywide party in just a couple of days. But first, let's get to Drew Andre live in Santa Clara following the Seahawks fans and their excitement over this win. Good morning, Drew.
Well, good morning, Mimi. Yes, out here this morning at Levi's Stadium, you can see there's still the Seahawks blue and green lights that are up there. The 12s that were in the stadium, they were loud and proud last night. I had a view in the stadium, almost a bird's eye view there, and to look around, you could see a lot of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of green. Of course, that was a mix of your Patriots and Seahawk fans all together, but definitely the 12s got loud, especially as the momentum just continued to go in their favor. Take you all the way to the second half, 5 minutes left in the third quarter. At that point, the Patriots had just 16 passing yards. That shows how strong this defense is for the Seahawks. And this was a matchup that was defined by these two very strong defenses. And the group coined the dark side showed they were every bit as good as their predecessor, the Legion of Boom, who led the Hawks to their last Super Bowl victory 12 years ago. After the game, we caught up with fans who were leaving Levi Stadium.
We are so freaking pumped.
Priceless. I was up there. We were up at the 400, maybe 2 rows from the top, crying, weeping. I couldn't do anything but freaking just be so excited. I'm here with my grandpa.
Oh my God. Once in a lifetime. I was like, honey, I've never spent this much money before on an experience that's going to last 5 hours, but I'm in.
So for them, it was worth it. And this was the scene down on the field after the game. Confetti flying everywhere, fireworks shooting off, a moment all of these players out on the field have always dreamt of. Coach Mike Macdonald got a yellow Gatorade bath as the game ended. The second-year coach, who grew up a Patriots fan, is now the third youngest Super Bowl winning coach in NFL history.
The 12s, the people, our community together, our players, let them feel what it feels like the reward of being on this team and be champions. That's what fires you up. That's just what gets you so excited, and that's what makes you so proud of our team. And for us to be able to do it for our community and our team is doesn't get any better than this.
So after 12 years, the 12s are victorious again. Today, the team is heading back to Seattle, where there's going to be a big celebration the rest of the week. We'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Drew. And hundreds of thousands of Seahawks fans are ready to welcome the team back home for this huge celebration. Let's get to Farah. What do we know right now about this victory parade?
Well, I'm glad the 12 have gone to sleep. It's quiet outside Lumen Field right now because there's more celebrating to do, and that all gets underway Wednesday. Take a look at this. King 5 is going to be your official broadcaster for the victory, the championship ceremony, for the speeches, the trophy, and then the parade, of course. You can watch the entire celebration exclusively on King 5 streaming apps and on Kong TV. Coverage is going to start at Lumen Field Wednesday at 10 a.m. King 5 is the only station allowed inside, so we're going to bring you every moment live from the presentation to those speeches I mentioned. Post-game, players were giving heartfelt thanks to the 12s who they want to see out here on parade day.
I can't put it into words. It's a surreal moment to the 12, man. Thank y'all for loving us all year, following us all year, making the weight game hard to put into words, but this isn't only for us, this is for y'all. Let's go, baby, go.
All right, after the ceremony on Wednesday, the team will board the buses and hit the streets of downtown Seattle. You can join in on the victory parade. The route is going to start at 4th Avenue South and Washington, and it's going to wind its way through the city, ending at 4th Ave and Cedar Street. King 5's going to have coverage of the Super Bowl celebration. It's going to be sponsored with limited commercial interruption by the Puyallup tribe. So if you went out for the parade 12 years ago, you may remember it was just packed. It was a massive crowd. Thousands and thousands of people lining the streets, and at different areas of the route, it was 100 feet deep of that crowd. So expect it to be crowded. The city just simply was not built to take on that many people as we saw back in 2014. If you plan to go in person, get to your spot early, but know it's going to be crowded, and be as safe as you can. But really, we just gave you the great option to stay home or be at work and take your break and watch that broadcast from your phone, or watch it at home on TV or streaming as well. Live in Seattle, Farah Jadrin, King 5 News.
Thanks, Farah. And for a closer look at the details of the parade and ceremony, just text the word parade to 206-448-4545, and we'll send you a link with everything you need to know, from routes to schedules.
And it looks like the weather will be a lot better than it was 12 years ago when it was below freezing.
Yes, you came back from that coverage blue.
Frozen, totally frozen.
It was a beautiful morning though. It was clear, but that was part of the problem, and the really cold air mass. Not this time. Looking good for Wednesday. We got a little bit of light rain today, but we dry out for midweek, and you can see for the ceremony we're going to be in the low 40s, basically partly sunny skies, and then we warm up into the mid 40s during the course of the parade. But a lot of local heat's going to be generated, so I don't think it's a problem. But you probably need at least a jacket as you head out there. Not a bad idea, but layers will be good because it's going to be getting warm from all the excitement, I'm sure. Shorter term, we've got to get through the post-Super Bowl Monday, and well, the weather not all that much of a problem. A little weak front moving through was giving us a little light rain in the South Sound. It's kind of moving on out of here, and you see a secondary portion of that to the north now moving into Whatcom and Skagit counties, and this is actually producing some snow up in the mountains. We're expecting several inches of snow out of that, as a matter of fact, and so you can see their lumen still lit up nicely there. And the Tacoma Dome, just a little bit of light wind, some wet roads though, and our forecast for Puget Sound basically is a chance of a little light rain this morning and then a couple of showers this afternoon mixed with sun breaks. Really a quiet weather day with highs around 50. A little bit more rain headed our way for the weekend, and there's some snow going on in the mountains. We'll talk about all that coming up.
As you prepare to head out this morning, right now I'm tracking a little bit of a slowdown out on I-5 northbound near that Pierce-King County line. I don't see a crash through here. I clicked a few cameras, so it just appears just to be a little slow point as you try to head into King County. So you can see a little bit of yellow on the map, but overall it's really been a smooth commute. No major crashes, not as much congestion through Federal Way as we typically see. So some of you may be dealing with a lighter commute just probably because of people maybe starting later because of all the festivities. If you're heading into downtown Seattle from the south, nothing to really slow you down, but you do see that red starting to grow as you work your way out of Shoreline because of that Revive I-5 work. It's already almost 70 minutes from Everett to Seattle, so we'll talk about that more in about 10 minutes. Right now, if you're heading out from Pierce County, about an hour from Tacoma to Seattle, 28 minutes from Tukwila to Bellevue, and about 42 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. So again, coming up, I'll have your Revive I-5 drive times. We'll talk about some ferry issues, and we'll look at some overnight construction.
Thanks so much, Shantae. Well, Seahawks fans all around the world watched that incredible win last night.
And that includes Jake Wittenberg, who's been in Milan, Italy, covering the Olympics. Jake, it looks like you did find a place to watch with fellow 12s last night.
Yes, and we are celebrating with fans around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Team Netherlands, the speed skating. All right, we've been working on this before this hit. You guys ready? Seahawks! 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 Thank you very much. Bedankt, as they say. Bedankt. Bedankt. Yeah. So much fun. Here we let it go. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. We're having a lot of fun here outside the Peace Arch. So, hey, good job. Thank you very much.
Okay, quiet on set, quiet on set.
Let me show you where we watched the game last night. It is not a place I thought we would be watching the Super Bowl. A midnight kickoff at a bar called Offside. The owner, Maurizio Polinghi, opened this to cater to American football on Sundays. It's all NFL. He says he was just trying to have a fun time last night. Listen.
One of the best things of life, sharing good times with people, with friends, and also with people you don't know. And sometimes you start new friendships in a pub. So we're here for them.
The regular season, playoffs, everything. There's always someone to you that comes to watch any of the games that are.
I will tell you, probably more Patriots fans than Seahawks fans last night. A lot of American media as well here to cover the Olympics. Everyone had a great time as we are out here outside the Peace Arch as well with the Team Netherlands.
It might be a little delirious because they pulled an all-nighter.
They are running on fumes, yes. I love that. Jake and Chris teaching the ways to everyone in Milan, Italy. We love to see the Dutch cheering with us. Okay, well, millions may have watched the Super Bowl halftime show, but there may have been some parts that you missed.
We're going to take a closer look at the cameos in the performance that you might not have seen. More Olympic coverage and Super Bowl coverage as we take you live from Milan to Santa Clara to Seattle, Washington. We'll be right back.
Peak Performance is sponsored by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, the Super Bowl may be over, but the Olympics now kick into high gear.
King 5's Chris Egan is in Italy, joins us now with this Olympic report. Chris, good morning.
Well, good morning, Christine and Mimi. I think I just pulled a muscle dancing there with Team Netherlands, but I'll try to make it through this live shot. On a sad note, Lindsey Vonn, the big story here yesterday, she crashed to the hills. Now, she did have surgery, underwent an operation to stabilize a fracture in her left leg. Lindsey Vonn, still one of the greats of all time, in that same event, former Western Washington student Breezy Johnson ran the race of her life. She started 6th and ran aggressive lines right from the start, finishing 1 minute and 36.10 seconds. She then sat and watched her time hold up. White Pass skier Jackie Wiles finished 4th, just off the podium. But it was a huge win for Breezy.
Very well. Her first podium of the season came last week in the Super G.
I knew I had to go out there and take it for myself, but, you know, you want it so badly. And so, yeah, I guess today is for that sometimes good things do come to those who wait.
Yeah, it hurts, and it's going to hurt for a little bit, but also I need to be really proud of the way that I skied and executed today, too.
The Olympic Zone is the place to go for local coverage of the Winter Games. You can join us every night, 7:30, setting the stage for NBC's primetime Olympic coverage starting at 8 o'clock. And tonight on the Olympic Zone, I will feature Julia Gosling from the Seattle Torrent. She actually plays for Team Canada. They're getting ready for a big rivalry showdown against the USA tomorrow. That's a USA team with 4 Seattle Torrent players on it. So Julia going up against 4 of her teammates. We're having some fun here, Jake Wittenberg and I, just dancing with the other countries, celebrating the Seahawks win. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
Celebrating with fans from all around the world.
All around the world. Thanks so much, Chris. Much appreciated. And yes, Seattle representing too in the Olympic Games already. Thanks so much.
Let's get it over to Rich right now. Talk about our Monday forecast.
And it's pretty quiet, which is good. We don't have the bandwidth for much going on in weather right now. So much going on in sports. Looking at the Doppler radar, little weak front pushing its way in this morning. It's giving us a little light rain down in the South Sound, and you can see it's kind of pushing in up to the north there. But once that moves on through, that light rain will give way to just a few scattered showers around, which is what we're seeing now down around the South Sound. Should see some sun breaks mixed in as well as we head towards this afternoon. Checking out the camera there in Everett. I can't quite see. It doesn't look like the roads are quite damp there yet. They definitely are down around Tacoma. They had a pretty good round of that rain earlier today. Overall, in our extended forecast, you can see we do have that drying around midweek, which is good news. That works out well with the parade. You can see on the satellite image, not much to it. We do have a change in the weather pattern. That big ridge is off to the east of us, and we're going to see these little weak systems kind of move in. We'll get a little bit of a pause for midweek for the parade. Thank you, Mother Nature. And then we will start to see a couple of kind of weak systems move in as we head towards the weekend. The good news with all of this, though, is that snow levels are going to be down to the pass, all the passes, which means we're getting at least a few inches of snow starting to accumulate up there. So today, just this few showers and sun breaks this afternoon. Tomorrow, basically dry after early sprinkles, partly sunny. We'll see partly sunny and low to mid 40s during the parade and hitting 50 in the afternoon. Later in the week, we're going to be looking for the showers to move in with temperatures cooling off into the mid to upper 40s over the weekend. Shante?
As you prepare to head out this morning, the main place you'll be dealing with those delays is trying to come into downtown Seattle, especially from further north, like North King County and South Snohomish County. This is out near Northgate, where that southbound traffic is crawling along because of the Revive I-5 work, not having those express lanes. So be prepared for delays there. Now, heading out of Snohomish County, you really won't run into the issues until you cross that King County line, and it is still quiet in Everett. You don't have your usual slowdown spots, but as you can see, I-5 going to be a slower slower option for most of you this morning. Edmonds to Seattle, about 38 minutes on Highway 99, 50 minutes on I-5 right now, 26 minutes from Bothell to Seattle using 405 versus 33 minutes using I-5, and it's about an hour from Everett to Seattle if you use 405 versus 75 minutes using I-5. We'll look at your ferry alerts and some overnight construction in just a few moments.
Thanks, Shantae. It's 6:22 right now, and the Seahawks and Patriots running backs were not the only ones rushing on the field during Super Bowl 60.
The game-stopping moment in the fourth quarter that even had one player lending a hand to security.
King 5's First Alert weather cams, sponsored by Southwest Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric.
Okay, the vibes are still high this morning, still listening to some Bad Bunny after a terrific halftime performance. Before we get into those trending moments from his show, let's talk about this moment. The game stopped during the fourth quarter when a shirtless man rushed the field. I actually couldn't see this from my TV, but I'm sure a lot of you were probably wondering, wait, what's going on? So even though security tried to stop the man, you could see there that former WSU Coug and current Patriots wide receiver Kyle Williams had to help take him down. It's still unclear why the fan decided to rush the field, but he appeared to have a social media handle written across his back. You know, people will do anything for some attention, but thankfully we haven't heard about anybody being hurt in that. So if you didn't catch everything during Bad Bunny's jam-packed 13-minute halftime show, here are a couple of our favorite moments. The surprises of the night. Ricky Martin and Lady Gaga performed with Bad Bunny during the show. Multiple Latin celebrities made cameos. You see Cardi B, Jessica Alba, Pedro Pascal, and more dancing in front of the La Casita. So just vibing to the Bad Bunny music. That was one of his many nods to his Puerto Rican residency. And it was just amazing to see, the representation that he had throughout the show. I even think about that moment with the little kid getting handed the Grandy. I think that was probably my favorite part.
It was just wonderful storytelling. You know, normally it's just a lot of singing and dancing and a lot of great performers, but this was a real story that he was trying to tell.
Well, it was Ricky. I mean, people were watching it. We're all watching it. Well, isn't that Lady Gaga?
Right.
Double
take. And the dancing too. A lot of great dancing. It was great. I liked it.
And someone got married. A couple got married.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you see, with so many moments. It was a real wedding. We took that part out, but there was a real wedding. The people actually reached out to Bad Bunny and invited him to their wedding. Wow. And then he was like, nah, I got one better. Come and get married on the Super Bowl during my halftime show. And he served as their witness. So that was cool.
And millions watching as well. A lot of witnesses. Okay, thanks, Shantae.
And we'll be right back right after this. What an incredible morning to wake up as a Seahawks fan. Here's a look at the fireworks over the Space Needle moments after Seattle clinched the Super Bowl title for the first time in 12 years, the second in franchise history. King 5 is your home of the Seahawks, so we're going to help you out with an excuse note. If you need to call out from work or school today, we shared this on our King 5 Facebook page last night for all the fans who are recovering from an acute case of Super Bowl victory celebration syndrome. You can use that excuse note. Apparently it's been pretty popular.
AKA maybe a hangover, in other words. And we were talking about this earlier. You might want to save that note for this Wednesday for the big parade.
That's right.
A lot of people will be skipping work and school to be part of that.
You know, even though it's a short night for everybody, whatever, I mean, I wouldn't want to be sitting at home alone right now. I'm going to be with my friends and stuff and share it, which is a reason to go to work, go to school, so you can share the experience.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people are apparently heading to work right now if you look at the roads.
Yeah, I was thinking today it was going to be a ghost town on the roads, but I guess a lot of people are like us. They still had to report for duty this morning. So this is a look out on I-5 near the Pierce-King County line. There is no crash. There's just a lot of congestion leaving Pierce County, so that's one place to watch out for. The other place is, of course, I-5 southbound into Seattle. We'll talk more about your drive times there and have a look at those ferry alerts coming up. Rich?
No. Sorry. I was having breakfast. Let's just do this. We've got a little weak system. It is definitely the day after, isn't it? Okay, we've got a little weak system that's moving through us, but giving us some occasional light rain. There's not much to it. It is giving us a little bit of a couple inches of snow headed for the mountains, and we're just now wetting down parts of Whatcom and Skagit counties. Overall, though, we're going to see it turn to just a few showers with sun breaks this afternoon. High temperatures today in the upper 40s and low 50s. I'll return to my breakfast now. Thank you.
And we'll get to your top 5 stories right now as Rich does that. King County Sheriff's deputies are searching for a suspect who stabbed a man in Burien on Saturday night. About 7 p.m., the victim showed up at a home on South 125th Street near 24th Avenue South with multiple stab wounds. He was taken to the hospital. We don't know his condition this morning, and at this point, there's no description of any suspects.
This morning, the search for Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, has entered its second week. Investigators in Arizona believe the 84-year-old was taken against her will from her home near Tucson early last Sunday morning. The possible kidnapper is demanding $6 million by 5 p.m. today, according to reporting from a local TV station there in Tucson. Her family says they will pay the ransom demand for her safe return.
Today, members of Congress will be able to view unredacted copies of millions of pages of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents released by the Justice Department. Congressional members will be given access to computers in a room and can only take notes. It comes after survivors of the convicted sex offender appeared in a Super Bowl PSA demanding transparency and the release of millions more files.
Team USA has notched its first medals of the Winter Olympic Games in Milan Cortina. First, in women's alpine, Breezy Johnson set the fastest time on the downhill competition in her first run and hung on to win gold. Then in figure skate,
And they bring up pressure as well, and they get a knockdown as Witherspoon came under pressure, and Uchenna Nwosu is going the distance.
And that was the play that slammed the door on the Patriots, the Seahawks securing their second Super Bowl victory in franchise history. The defense delivered the final statement just like they've done all season long. 29-13, the final from Santa Clara, and that Lombardi Trophy is coming home to Seattle.
So the party was on across Western Washington, and we're going to keep it going on Wednesday with the championship parade in downtown Seattle. We will have all those details in a moment.
But first, King 5's Drew Andre joins us live from Santa Clara with more post-game reaction from the Seahawks. What a week it's been for you, Drew, to cover the Hawks.
Oh, it has been such a fun week, and couldn't ask for a better end to it last night, right? So happy to be here this morning with you. You can see Levi Stadium is behind me in the background. It had been full of those green and blue lights saying Seahawks Super Bowl champions. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Seahawks quarterback, Sam Darnold, because, of course, the defense has gotten a lot of the attention, as it should, because they are really the reason that the Seahawks won this game. But the steady force of this team has been Sam Darnold throughout the year. The Seahawks are his 5th team in his 8 seasons in the NFL, a true journeyman in the NFL. Last night, he kept it simple, as he has all postseason. No turnovers, no real big plays, but no major mistakes, and he got the job done.
My job is to take care of the football, and I knew that coming into the game, and I did that, and I took the open guy when they were there, and if I had to take sacks, if I had to throw the ball away, I was able to do it. But I just played that kind of game, and I feel like we ended up coming on being on top because of it.
But we have to talk about that defense. The dark side was overwhelming. The Patriots offense really just had no answers. Their quarterback, Drake May, he was 1 vote away from winning MVP this season, but he didn't look like it on the field yesterday because of that stifling defense from the Hawks. And this is that moment that every one of these players and coaches worked their entire life for. Now the Seahawks can call themselves Super Bowl champions. Julian Love put it in perspective.
It's special. I've dreamed of this my whole life. I know my Abuelito and my Abuelita are proud. This is a dream come true.
And as soon as the clock struck 0, the celebration began on the field. We saw confetti flying, Super Bowl champion hats and shirts being handed out, smiles on the faces of every player and coach and member of the staff, everyone who made it possible to get to this point here. Now, the 12s, they stayed inside Levi Stadium as long as they could to be a part of that celebration, and I'm sure stayed out all night long here. Of course, we saw the scenes in Seattle. Today, the team heads back that direction for a really fun week ahead. We'll send it back to you in Seattle.
Okay, we're going to give them a warm welcome back home here in Seattle. I'm sure there is plenty more celebrating to be done. Thanks so much, Drew. And the 12s have really been celebrating all night. King 5 Savannah Welch is live downtown, where fans took to the streets moments after the Seahawks clinched the championship. Savannah.
Good morning, Christine. Yeah, fans packed streets here near Lumen Field and across downtown for hours overnight. Thousands of 12s poured out of watch parties, bars, and homes, all to help celebrate in areas near the stadium, downtown Pioneer Square, and help everyone celebrate that team's 29-13 victory. Celebrations spilled into intersections with chants, fireworks, flags waving, and car horns blaring as the city soaked in the moment together. Seattle police did post on social media begging fans not to climb the pergola in Pioneer Square, but they still did. No word if there were any arrests during that time, though. This win marks the Seahawks' second Super Bowl title and a redemption years in the making after their last Super Bowl matchup against New England. For many fans, this meant more than just a trophy.
We don't want anything better than this. We got our get back the right way. BTA. Does everybody know what happened? We did it the right way. 12s Nation.
This is just amazing. 12 years of frustration from that Malcolm Butler fumble or that interception to this moment. It just relived the city again.
And the celebrations will continue on Wednesday with the championship parade through downtown Seattle and a ceremony at Lumen Field. In Seattle, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Thanks, Savannah. And yes, King 5 is the official broadcaster of the Seahawks championship ceremony and parade. You can watch the entire celebration exclusively on King 5 streaming apps and on Kong TV. Coverage begins at Lumen Field Wednesday at 10 a.m. And King 5 is the only station allowed inside, bringing you every moment live, from the trophy presentation to hearing from the coach and players.
The team will then board buses and hit the streets of downtown Seattle. You can join in with the Hawks for the victory parade. That route begins on 4th Avenue and winds its way through the city to Cedar Street. King 5's coverage of the Super Bowl celebration is sponsored with limited commercial interruption by the Puyallup Tribe. For details on the parade and the ceremony, just text the word parade to 206-448-4545 and we'll send you a link.
So we're already looking ahead to what the weather might be on Wednesday, and looking not too bad.
Mother Nature, I think, likes the Super Bowl. It was beautiful weather down there in Santa Clara yesterday, and on Wednesday for the parade, not bad at all. It might be a little patchy fog around early, shouldn't interfere with getting to the parade. And then at 10 o'clock when the Lombardi Trophy is going to be presented there at Lumen, temperatures in the low 40s and warming a little bit into the low to mid 40s during the course of the parade on into the early afternoon hours. We'll peak out near 50 degrees. So definitely a jacket, but there's going to be a lot of energy going on, and I suspect quite a few people that are going to help warm the atmosphere around that parade. It should be a fun event, and if you can't make it down there, there's so many ways you can watch it on King. And as we just said, get that do that text and you'll get the information you need in order to watch it live. You can see on the Doppler radar this morning, weak system moving in. We've seen occasional light rain up and down the sound, and that's going to continue this morning. And then as we head towards this afternoon, just a few scattered showers left over. You can see out at the airport looking a little damp, and there in Tacoma we have wet roads starting off the day. Puget Sound, generally we'll see that chance of some occasional light rain this morning, then a few sun breaks and just a couple showers around this afternoon with highs near 50 degrees. Some snow up in the mountains, a few inches anyway today, and looks like maybe a little bit more as we head towards the end of the week and the weekend. We have that extended forecast coming up.
As you prepare to head out this morning, you will be dealing with some delays in those typical spots. One spot is I-5 as you head into Seattle because of that revived I-5 work, so not having those express lanes. So this is a live look out near Northgate where you can see the light rail moving faster than this traffic. So if that does work for you, it might be a good option. Now, if you are about to head out, for most of you, it might be a better idea to take some of those alternate routes rather than getting on I-5. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. Things starting to slow down on 405 as you head out through Bothell. No big issues out of Linwood. Everett still quiet. The Trestle's clear, and Highway 9 moving pretty smoothly as well. So let's talk about getting around Revive I-5. Like I mentioned, Edmonds to Seattle, about 48 minutes on I-5, 42 minutes on Highway 99. Bothell to Seattle would be about 41 minutes using 522 to I-5. Then it would take you about 28 minutes if you were to get out on 405. And Everett to Seattle, about 70 minutes on 405. And if you are taking I-5, it would be about 75 minutes.
Okay, thanks so much, Shante. Time now is 6:42, and we are live in Italy this morning for the Winter Olympics. Jake Wittenberg and Chris Egan are near the Olympic cauldron in Milan this morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, the cauldron burning bright. So are the 12s after last night's game. Chris, what a night. We were up all night watching the game.
I just got a text from my youngest saying, can I call in sick from school on Wednesday? I said, I'm in Italy. You can do whatever you want, buddy. Go to the parade.
You have an excuse for sure. We're going to go up and try to hang this on the peace arch behind us, too. But we'll also show you what we did last night, how we caught a glimpse of the Hawks at midnight kickoff. We'll have that in a few minutes.
Back with more Olympics coverage and a look at all the Seahawks fans celebrating in Milan today. We'll be right back. Well, they say the 12s travel well in the NFL, and they certainly represented in Santa Clara last night. But we found Seahawks fans rooting on their team all the way in Italy. Jake Wittenberg is in Milan this morning, covering the Olympics, of course. But last night, Jake, you pulled in all-nighter, watching the Super Bowl with a bunch of people from all over the world. What was that like?
Yeah, what an experience, Mamie, to be at a Super Bowl kickoff watching at 12:30 a.m. We got back to the hotel at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning, but so worth it to see our Seahawks go the distance. So much fun. And that cauldron behind us, you can see burning bright. So is the fire for the 12s this morning all the way in Milan. Where did we watch the game, you might be asking? Take a look. This is called Offside American Sports Pub here in Milan. It was absolutely packed last night with fans trying to get a glimpse of the Super Bowl. A lot of American media here covering the Olympics, but also a lot of local Italians rooting on the NFL. Bar owner Maurizio Polinghi was all over the place last night, serving up beers, pub-style food, and some fans from both Patriots and Hawks were there. He opened this bar a few years back with the idea to cater to international sports. It's mostly soccer on the weeks, but on Sundays, overnight, it is NFL all the way around. And for locals in Milan, American football is really catching on.
Here in Italy, it's not so famous, but it's so beautiful. I like your score. When I see people around me drinking, having fun, being happy, that's it. And sport is the secret ingredient.
Yeah, it's so much fun to meet him. We had a blast. You needed reservations to get in. That's how busy it was. Chris and I sporting the 12th flag right there front and center at the bar. As I mentioned, kind of pulled an all-nighter. Haven't done that since college, but it was way worth it. Speaking of flag, Chris is, we talked about hanging the Seahawks scarf, you guys, from the Peace Arch. I think he's actually going to go do it.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to stop him before he gets to the top of the cauldron. Chris. Oh, he's off. We just got to let him go do his thing. Back to you guys.
I thought you guys were just talking a big game. All right.
Hopefully you know the word for attorney in Italian.
Don't get into trouble out there. Don't get into trouble. All right. Thank you, Jake. We'll check in with Chris, of course, a little bit later as well. Wow. It's so fun to watch the Seahawks win this thing, and fans from all over the world, too.
I know, seriously. It really has an international feel to it, having all of our people over in Italy right now as well. And what was the team that was doing the chant earlier?
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands, Team Netherlands, sang a chorus and did Seahawks. It's really good.
Yeah.
So,
well, the rain we're seeing out there right now probably not going to be around on Wednesday for the victory parade.
No, it's looking great for the victory parade. We'll show you that forecast in just a second. This morning, still got to get through a Monday morning, but there's a lot of energy in the air, which is fortunate because there's a lot of sleepless people out there. And here, you can see we've got a little weak system that's pushing in. It's kind of being broken up more by the Olympics, and we've been seeing some occasional light rain just kind of move through, and that's going to be the story for the morning. And then by this afternoon, it's going to be probably just a few showers off and on mixed in with some sun breaks. So overall, a very quiet start to the work week, which is fine. You see right now it's turning a little wet up there around Whatcom County at this hour. And looking at Everett, looks like they may have seen a little bit of rain there. It's looking a little bit wetter on the roadways. And it's been a fairly damp morning there in Tacoma. It looks like that's letting up and seeing some potential breaks there in the overcast, perhaps. Temperatures mostly in the low to mid 40s as you head out, so not particularly chilly this morning. And overall, shift in the weather pattern. The highs off to the east of us. We do have little weak systems moving in at the beginning of the week and the end of the week, but definitely cooler temperatures because it's going to be coming down as snow up in the mountains. So for today, light rain around, then this afternoon, a couple showers and sun breaks. Tomorrow, an early morning sprinkle before daybreak, then partly sunny, low 50s. For the parade, looking great. We're going to see a little bit of patchy morning fog, otherwise sunshine. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s for parade time and on towards noon, so take a jacket along, but lots of energy to warm you up. And we get a break on Thursday as well before we see showers move in for the weekend with snow in the mountains. And then we pick up anywhere from about 1 to 4 inches potentially out of those systems late in the week.
All right, as you prepare to head out this morning, we are still dealing with that congestion near the Pierce-King County line and on I-5 heading into Seattle near Northgate because of Revive I-5. But I'm starting you off here on 405 near Sunset Boulevard. That northbound traffic starting to slow down, but tonight there will be no southbound traffic going through here. So at 11:59, all southbound lanes will be closed in Renton from Sunset Boulevard to Highway 167. That's going to go on until 4 in the morning. A detour will be set up, but definitely something to plan ahead for. Other than that, you don't have any major issues out from Pierce County heading into King County. You do see about an hour drive at the moment from Tacoma to Seattle, 35 minutes from Tukwila to Bellevue, 42 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. And if you are heading out on a ferry on the Anacortes San Juan Islands route, you're down a boat, so you will get the number 2 boat back at 7:30. And then on the Mukilteo Clinton route, service will be suspended for around 4 hours midday today. So keep an eye on those ferry alerts. We'll be right back. Some more trending news for you this morning. We know football is only one part of the Super Bowl. While the game is not being played, the most highly produced ads of the year take over the screen during commercial breaks. This year, there were multiple ads focusing on AI, health issues, and nostalgia. NBC says some companies spent upwards of $10 million for a 30-second spot, and these are some of our favorites. So for me, I love the T-Mobile commercial that featured the Backstreet Boys. It was like a new rendition of Tell Me Why. And the other one that I loved was the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, mainly because both commercials were like a throwback. With this one, you got to see, stars from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters, even Friends. So I was like, okay, and everybody looked amazing as well, and that was cool.
And of course, Ben Affleck always so hilarious whenever he talks about Dunkin' Donuts coffee, right? Okay, so my favorite was the Instacart commercial featuring Ben Stiller and Benson Boone. This made me laugh out loud quite a few times because, Benson Boone's famous thing is the flip. And then you can see, he's trying to do the flip too. And he fails miserably. But anyway, it was hilarious.
Took the whole set out.
What about you, Rich?
Well, I have to say, I have to admit that I missed some of the commercials because it was a hectic evening. 10 of people at the house watching the game. So, yeah. But the ones that I did see, the one I liked the best was the one about Jurassic Park. What would have happened if the power hadn't gone off? And with friendly dinosaurs taking selfies with some of the explorers and such. And I just thought it was really cute and very, very well done.
My favorite was actually the Redfin and Rocket Mortgage ad. It was a commercial about acts of kindness. It showed a teenager and a new neighbor moving in, and people weren't very friendly until a storm hit. And then it was sort of that compassion and empathy that came out because of it. And it also featured Lady Gaga singing Mr. Rogers' song, Won't You Be My Neighbor? So that was really sweet.
I missed that one, but I got to go back and watch it.
And
we were talking about the karaoke
one.
That was the one that really got, I'm like, wait, did somebody hit the remote? What's going on?
Yeah, it was a Backstreet Boys song that was a karaoke screen out of nowhere.
Right.
And it was great.
Fun. We were all singing along.
Yeah, they forced you to do so, yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us here this morning. We've got more Super Bowl coverage and, of course, Olympics coverage from Milan coming up over on Kong and streaming right now on King 5 Plus. Have a great day, everybody. Porque pasan los años y sigo dando palos, prendiendo discos como cuadro Frida Kahlo. Fue blanco, sí, el rosita, no te confundas, no.